We had a tragic shooting where this 18-year-old ended up apparently murdering a 16-year-old and shooting 4 other people, including 2 children.
One person is dead and 4 others, including a 4-year-old, are injured after a shooting at the Charles Young Park in downtown Lexington. It's our top story here on the Night Team. I'm Alex Dieterer. According to the Lexington Police Department, 2 children, ages 14 and 4, and 2 adults were injured and taken to the hospital. One person was pronounced dead by the Fayette County Coroner's Office. As of right now, not much else is known about the shooting. Lexington Police Chief Lawrence Weathers says there is no threat to the public and is asking for any information. At tonight's Forward Together event, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear addressed the shooting just hours after it happened.
About a mile and a half from here, we've had a shooting actually since we started this dinner. Let's think about the families of those that are involved, but having lost one of my closest friends in a shooting, let's not live in fear. Let's not let it take our energy from tonight.
Let's get over into the next video.
This is the moment gunshots rang out in a crowded park in Lexington, Kentucky. Here you see 2 men talking, but look in the background. There's a disturbance and a group seen backing up. Then shots fired. A woman screams for her baby. People attending a community festival ran for cover. A 16-year-old, Dejon Robertson, was killed. 4 others were injured, including a 4-year-old, a 14-year-old, and 2 adults.
We hear shots ring out. We hear the screams. And then as I'm running away and trying to shield some of the young people that were with me, there was a gentleman right beside me that got shot in the leg. And I just remember thinking to myself, man, I'm not going to make it home to my family tonight. Being in close proximity to gunfire, seeing so much trauma happening at once, it was just heartbreaking.
No one wants to deal with that. No one should be put in that position. Let's keep going.
Overnight, police announcing the arrest of an 18-year-old, Demetrius Griffin, in connection to the deadly shooting. Until Saturday night, there had not been a homicide in Lexington since February.
We're going to do our best to hold those accountable who are involved in this.
Now, there was more gunfire in Hartford, Connecticut, where police said 1 person was killed and 4 wounded. In Kansas City, Missouri, police said 4 people were shot, including a boy under 5. The Gun Violence Archive says there have been more than 300 mass shootings in the country so far this year, guys.
Absolutely sickening. But let's get over to a teen who's saying that this all needs to stop.
As officials respond to Saturday's deadly shooting, Lexington youth are coming forward. One local teenager says no one, especially young people, should have to experience the impact of gun violence, which is why he's speaking out and advocating for change.
When 16-year-old Avery Adams learned about the shooting at Charles Young Park, he says it brought tears to his eyes.
When things like this happen, more freedom is taken, lives are lost, futures are lost. People lose their children.
Adams says he has a deep pride in the community that raised him and in the diversity that makes Lexington special.
East End Day has been a great thing. It shows, or it did show, that we can be a community without hurting each other. But yesterday's didn't help at all. If anything, it brought us down. I mean, it did bring us down.
Although officials said Saturday's shooting marked the first homicide since February, Adams says far too many youth are still being exposed to gun violence. He hopes to lead by example, showing his peers that guns are not the answer.
I would love to be able to take guns and, put a skateboard in their hand, a baseball bat, a football. I mean, we have these things. We grew up doing it. You grew up playing basketball. You grew up playing football with each other. Why are we turning to guns when we can continue going the way that we grew up?
Adams has faith in the Lexington community, encouraging others to choose unity over violence.
You're choosing the life of a coward. You don't have to. When will you see that what you're doing is pointless and it's a senseless lifestyle? Nothing good comes out of it except death and calamity, and it doesn't have to be that way. Get your education. Choose to be an upstanding person, and good things will come out of it.
That is what I'm talking about. That is a man who has his head on right. And he understands what's best for his community. But some people don't look at it that way. Some people might call him lame. Some people might think that he's not following what needs to be done. But there's too much violence in everyone's community. We can't just say the black community. There's too much violence in the world. We got to be honest about ourselves. It's a tragic situation, y'all. Let's get over into more details about the shooting with the AI breakdown. But it's a tragic situation. Someone lost their life who didn't need to. So we know an 18-year-old has been arrested and charged with the murder following a shooting at the Charles Young Park in Lexington, Kentucky, where it left a 16-year-old boy dead and 4 others injured, including 2 children. That was that 4 and 14-year-old. The shooting occurred before 7 p.m. on Saturday, August 15th, during an outdoor community event called East Ends Day. Gunfire erupted in the 200 block of Midlands Avenue, prompting a massive law enforcement response and a temporary police staffing emergency. The deceased victim was identified as Deon Robertson, who passed away from his injuries at the UK hospital emergency room. So 4 other individuals suffered non-life-threatening injuries. There was 4 14-year-old and 2 adults. Witnesses described a chaotic environment as the crowds of families ran for cover when shots were fired during the neighborhood celebration. Lexington Police Department arrested 18-year-old Demarius M. Griffin in connection with the homicide. He is currently being held at the Fayette County Detention Center on a $1 million bail. He is currently charged with 1 count of murder, 2 counts of first-degree assault, 2 counts of second-degree assault, and 1 count of tampering with physical evidence. I'm assuming because he ditched a murder weapon. The governor shared the news during the political dinner over the weekend, offering condolences for the tragic event. In response to the tragedy, local leaders and organizations, including One Lexington, have mobilized to offer mental health and grief support to the families in the East Ends neighborhood. This is a tragic situation, and it only leads to trauma. It only leads to trauma, y'all. So they have not yet publicly disclosed a motive for the shooting. Authorities state that detectives are still actively gathering information from witnesses and reviewing physical evidence collected from the scene during what led to the gunfire. The 18-year-old suspect, Mr. Griffin, appeared via video in the Lexington courtroom on Monday pleaded not guilty to the murder charges, assaults, and tampering with physical evidence. He continues to be held without bond, or held on a $1 million bond. Now, this part was interesting. And according to the legal representatives, he ended up turning himself into the authorities on Sunday following the incident. That sounds to me, I'm assuming he got a lawyer, but it sounds to me he might be trying to go for a self-defense plea. It's the most simplest thing you can plead for. And if there's evidence that can back it up, he could get away with all this. Well, I don't know. If I'm assuming the 16-year-old wasn't a part of this, but if he was, then he could get away with it. But if he was just an innocent bystander, which the others were, if you're defending yourself and have to shoot somebody and you accidentally hit somebody else, what is that charge? We got to think about that. So the 16-year-old victim who passed away was confirmed to be a participant in One Lexington, the city's outreach and gun violence prevention initiative. He was a student at the Success Academy, previously attended Bryan Station High School. The director of the One Lexington was present at the East Ends Day and helped shield youth during the gunfire. He publicly urged the community to reject retaliation as the investigation moves forward. That is the biggest thing, trying to stop anyone from wanting to retaliate before, just in general, because it ends up bringing more death around. But it's a tragic situation, y'all. I wonder what his defense is going to be. But you shot children and you shot and murdered someone. If you weren't, even if you were protecting yourself, you're going to have to be held responsible for something. Now, I'm not saying he was protected, but I'm assuming that's what his defense attorney will go for. But let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagreed with anything I said. It's a crazy case. Absolutely crazy.